Gentleman from Texas, Mr. Hunt.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Democrats love to talk about democracy. They claim Donald Trump is a threat to it. They say actions taken by his administration undermine it. But let's be clear. Democrats have twisted and weaponized the word democracy into nothing more than a partisan talking point. So let me tell you what democracy is not. Democracy is not the tyranny of the majority. When 77 million Americans cast their vote for a president, and when every major swing state breaks in his favor, and when the Electoral College delivers a clear mandate, it is not democracy when a district court judge overturns the will of the American people and usurps the constitutional authority of the commander-in-chief, full stop. President Trump, along with Tom Homan, CBP, and ICE, are doing an outstanding job securing our homeland. And in just a few months, we have seen historic progress on border enforcement, gotaways are down, arrests are up, and deportations are finally happening. But now we are beginning to see that progress stall. And why? Because of the tyranny of the minority. Activist judges targeting immigration executive orders. It is not the role, nor is it the authority of a single judge to undermine the commander-in-chief's constitutional responsibility to repeal an invasion. And make no mistake about it, this is an invasion. 20 million people entering our country illegally for the past 4 years is in fact the quintessential definition of an invasion. It's not just a border crisis. We are fighting cartels like Tren de Aragua and MS-13. You see, groups like these, in coordination with the Chinese Communist Party, are flooding our country with fentanyl. It is not just a crisis here on drugs. It is chemical warfare. And fentanyl is not a simple drug. It's also poison. In my conversations with Texas sheriffs in the front lines, there's absolutely no confusion about what's happening. The mission of these cartels backed by the CCP is simple. And they told me this, and I quote, "Kill the gringo." And that's the reality. And President Trump is using his power and his constitutional power given to him by the American public to stop this from happening. Ms. Romero, thank you very much for being here. Really appreciate your testimony earlier. You went as far as saying publicly that in Kamala Harris's America, every state is a border state and every community is under threat. You also said that after Tren de Aragua invaded your apartment complex, you reached out to local media and several NGOs in your community begging for help, and you were turned away because there were no government programs that grant citizens protected status. I have a question for you, ma'am. Do you feel more or less safe now that President Trump is back in the White House?
More.
And why do you say that?
Because he's getting rid of the criminals that were harassing all of us.
Do you think that President Trump is putting the priorities of America and the average American citizen above the priorities of the cartels and those people that want to destroy this nation?
Yes, because these people were causing immediate harm to citizens, not some imaginary harm that could happen one day.
I mean, if you had a message for the American people today, what would it be?
This is a real threat to our communities, not just mine, not an isolated incident, not just regulated to one building. These are all over the United States. Apparently, people have forgotten 9/11. There are dangerous criminals in our country, and if we don't start getting them out now, then when? After they victimize someone just like me?
I fought for this country. There are many people in this room that fought for this country. I flew 55 combat air missions in Baghdad in an Apache helicopter because I do not want to see animals in our country terrorize my fellow Americans. That's what we took an oath to do. As sitting here in the halls of Congress, it is also our responsibility to protect the American citizen first. For the record, as somebody has deployed all over this world, no other country operates like this. None. You cannot tell me a country that would allow 20 million people to enter their country illegally and their country do absolutely nothing about it. And for the record, this is the greatest country in the world. That's why there's 20 million people trying to enter it illegally. So therefore, we bear an even greater responsibility to keep these animals from entering our country to protect you, the American public. That's our job. President Trump won, and he was given a mandate for that very reason. He promised to protect us and put our priorities first. It is just that simple. I understand my colleagues on the left may disagree with this to a certain extent, but quite frankly, the mandate was already given to us, and ma'am, you're sitting here right now because you are terrorized by the very animals that had no business being in our country in the first place. I'll let you answer this last question, ma'am. As we move forward, what would you like us to do to protect you?
Briefly, please.
Stop wasting tax dollars trying to interrupt him and stop him from what he's doing. Do something to protect the people who elected you and put you in your spots. To look down and decide what happens to the rest of us.
Thank you, ma'am. I get back to the remainder of my time.